the west coast of Africa. This was the heart of the slave trade, before being carved up by competing colonial powers. Independent for half a century, it's now known for dictators, child soldiers, and civil war. But things could be about to change. Last year, Liberia was named the poorest and most dangerous place on Earth.
Welcome to Monrovia, Liberia.
I arrived when it was in the final throes of a war that had been going on for nearly 14 years. Its last president, Charles Taylor, was elected in 1997 after voters sang, "You killed my ma, you killed my pa, I'll vote for you." Taylor has since fled the country after being indicted for war crimes and sponsoring conflicts that engulfed the whole region.
Okay, all the money's in his hands. All the money's in his hands.
I had arrived just days before a new transitional government was to be sworn in. They had limited funds and an entire country to rebuild, almost from scratch, as my guide Zubin Cooper showed me. Jesus. There's plenty going that way as well, though.
Yeah, so they're coming from both sides.
Evidence of the recent war was everywhere. When you stand here and you think the bullets were coming from that way, every surface facing that way, there's as many bullet holes as there is clean surface everywhere. We even found a live rocket-propelled grenade. So we're on our way to have a look at the playground. On the way, there's an unexploded RPG stuck in the tree here. We would have missed it, but some kid was tapping it with his knife.
Yeah.
So, would anyone come and pull this out?
Yeah, when the UN gets around to it, they usually send around explosives teams to either remove these things or, if they can be removed, to detonate them.
The UN clearly had its hands full. 15,000 troops were enforcing a peace agreement between 3 different armed groups in a country that has had no solid infrastructure for 25 years.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
How you doing?
Yeah.
The UN controlled the capital, Monrovia, but the rest of the country was still controlled by rebels, whose checkpoints are manned by drunk, stoned and armed teenagers.
Get out.
Hey.
Yeah, how are you?
How are you doing?
No bad.
What's your name? Abu Bakr. Bang, Mr. Bang.
Mr. Ben.
You're the boss. Where are you from? Côte d'Ivoire? What's he say?
You say he don't let too much you're talking.
Okay.
You talk one at a time.
So if I talk too much, you'll...
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, they talk too much. You see, he's a Frenchman, he speaks French. You don't scare.
Where's he from?
From Mali or the Guinea.
Okay. You like that?
Yeah.
You like? You do that?
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Hein? Il faut partir. C'est bien.
A dozen checkpoints later, and we were in Tubmanburg, the headquarters of the largest rebel group, the Liberians United for Reconciliation and Democracy, or LURD. Their chairman is called Sekou Kone, who calls himself the Liberator. He had just returned from power-sharing negotiations in Ghana. While some LURD members are set to join the interim government, Kone refused when he wasn't offered the top job.
Want to be part of those things? We have to go back to Accra.
Quite a few people within LURD are not happy with the deal that their chairman negotiated. It looked like they were set to get a lot more. They controlled about 70% of the country for 4 years. Model, the other rebel group, controlled just a small part of the country for a few months in the east. and Model and Lourdes got the same amount of ministries in the interim government. That probably explained why he had separate troops guarding him, apparently from his own soldiers.
As a head of this organization, and I am the target. So my protection, I'm concerned about my protection more than the minister.
And so you have to wait until Monrovia is arms free before you can travel?
Yeah, before I can go to Monrovia to live, it have to be arm free. I cannot go to Monrovia to live in the condition that they're.
Once the government is established and these problems are resolved, what will your role be?
I just trying to establish an MGO. You can look there. We had a good fight, and I want people to join me so we can fight against the HIV/AIDS.
That's the second Conne clock.
Yeah, it's an overtaskment against the AIDS.
Oh, okay, that's your NGO.
Yeah. You have a key.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock. But it was hard to square his charitable ambitions with what we found just behind his office. You're the driver?
Yeah, I live there. Huh?
How many years have you been fighting?
10 years.
10 years?
Yes.
And how old are you?
17. This one here, a motor bond. I don't want to make it just run away.
You know the one?
BZT?
That boogeyman.
Boogeyman?
Boogeyman.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Makes your enemy very scared. Yeah? You're the big man with this, yeah?
Yes.
Ding, this makes the big explosion. And maybe soon you have to give up the weapons?
Yes.
Yeah? But what will you do then?
After the war, I want to go to school.
You go to school?
The older they get, the more reluctant they are to go fight. So if they go to fight, they basically go commanding a group of kids. And these kids just rampage and maraud on, give them a little bit of drugs, some food so that they'll have some stamina and they can fight all day, all night. You know, kids have boundless energy.
Comes another kid with an RPG. I can't understand a lot of what they're saying, but I can understand that they're very excited by the explosions that the RPGs produce. Are you expecting an attack?
Of course.
Yeah?
Yes.
They would not dare attack here.
Can try.
They can try. You killed Charles Taylor's soldiers?
Yes.
I won't go to school. So long as there's army, they take my arm for me, they get my money to me. You see it?
Yes.
You see it? I prepare for all.
You see the ammo? You see the ammo?
So
So I
So round.
yeah.
You see the mortar bomb? You see the bomb? RPG bomb.
And if they don't give you money for your arms, you will keep on fighting.
I'll be unrebel. Be unrebel. I'll be killing.
Thank you.
No time, no rest.
Thank you. I hope you go to school.
Yeah, I will go to school.
Thank you. I mean, it does seem to me like, for the time being at least, they're looking for an excuse not to disarm. Because, you know, if they do disarm, what's he got? He's got an office in the middle of the country. And that's it, he's on his own. Lourdes without soldiers doesn't exist. See, they're watching the Waltons in there. Yeah. In the chairman's office. But even if Lourdes did disarm, it was difficult to imagine what these kids would then do. Many of them have spent their entire lives fighting, and in a country where 80% of the population live below the poverty line, there just aren't the funds available for one-on-one rehabilitation. That seems to be one of the first signs that life's getting back to normal is a video club.
Yeah.
How How come Nigerian films are so popular?
I think that people here can relate. It's more of a culture thing. They watch like the hard target and think for the action.
And Nigerian films are either love stories, violent films,
or something to do with witchcraft.
Right.
Yeah. Most times a combination of all three.
Oh, okay. Not with this one.
Hey, bravo to you. Mr. Whiteman. Okay, bravo to you, Mr. Whiteman.
All we ever hear about is child soldiers on drugs, but they're smoking weed. That would make them less violent, not more violent.
So that was a unit Charles used to have called Small Boys Unit. He used to give them like LSD and stuff like that, cocaine, crack.
Someone said they used to force inject cocaine.
Yeah, some of them, when they first got there, and if they refused, they used to do that to them. So that's why his troops, 1990 and afterwards, that's why they used to massacre people, because most of the time they were like so high.
Oh, you enter? Oh, it's World Food Programme. We met a guy from the World Food Programme last night, and he said, if you're going to Tubmanburg, can you tell me whether or not it's safe for WFP to distribute food there? And we said we thought it probably was. And he said, well, before I distribute food there, I want my vehicles back. They nicked loads of vehicles. They'll probably let him have this one back. We had also been keeping an eye out for Black Diamond, a 22-year-old female fighter who had a fearsome reputation during the war. She's famous.
Mission is over because the man is already out.
Yeah.
It was my mission, the mission accomplished.
What will you do now?
I'll go back to school.
Yeah?
Because I was going to school before.
Nice to meet you. See you again.
Okay.
Oh, well, you know, she's kind of shy, isn't she? Kind of shy and sweet looking. Yeah. And yet, you're telling me that she executes people.
Yeah, she shot a lot of people for looting and people for attempted rape.
Oh,
Yeah.
so not even government soldiers?
No, her own people.
She'd shoot her own people who...
Disciplinarian. Strong disciplinarian. Hello, how you doing?
Back near Monrovia, we went to the home of Vice President Moses Blah, who took temporary power when Charles Taylor went into exile. He was giving up his personal stash of weapons.
Where are you going to now?
He just told us to come this way.
No,
What kind of tourists you get people?
He just told us to come this way.
they are just starting now to bring them out.
So where do we stand?
you wait.
Right here.
Just wait aside.
More rude Nigerian soldiers. So we're going to try and go from the other side because the aggressive Nigerian soldiers won't let us in from that side. They're all loaded, they just dropped a load of bullets there.
It's not too good for you to be around. Okay.
Because it's live?
Huh?
Because it's live?
Yes. So I want you to please go just follow, please.
Okay. Okay. Can we speak with him? Go right here. Hello, sir. I'm Ben Anderson from the BBC. Can we speak to you for a second?
Yes.
Why have you decided to give up all these weapons today?
Well, we have decided to do that because we want to bring peace to the Liberian people, and as government, we want to take lead in the disarmament process. This is why we are way ahead. So we are appealing to the other parties to follow suit so we can make Liberia an arm-free society.
And how difficult will it be to get rid of the intention for people to use guns?
Well, it is difficult, but the combatants are getting to understand. Once the leader of a group is saying to them that do not fight, I don't think they will fight. And this is the situation.
Is it difficult for you to come to an agreement with former enemies? To sit face to face over a table with former enemies?
Yeah, this is what we are doing. We are talking. Now that we are talking, we are discussing, and it's fine. Things are working out fine. We are meeting and talking. So the possibility is there that we... don't disturb me when I'm talking. The possibility is there that we understand and we put the guns down.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. When I'm talking, caught my attention like that.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
The security guy kept on nudging me from behind and pushing me in the back. I don't know why, I wasn't asking the very tough questions. There you go. This is an instruction manual for the RPG-7, and it's in English. So where's this come from? I'm told that the UN embargo on Liberia was the least effective arms embargo of all time. I've even got the RPG-7 instruction manual. The stuff hadn't even been taken out of the box. It was still wrapped in plastic and still with instruction manuals on top. It was brand new.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, go ahead.
If Liberia was under an arms embargo, why have you got brand new weapons?
Well, it's difficult to say. This is because we want to survive, that's all. These are survival reaction, arms that we call. We are taking the arms, we maneuver our way through.
We've got someone who's pretty well connected in international arms trade. We've got French, American, Russian, Bulgarian, Croatian, Slovakian.
Oh, yeah.
All those manufacturers are represented here. It's like a little World Trade Fair. But Moses Blah isn't the only man with his own personal collection of arms, and it remains frighteningly easy to get hold of weapons on the streets of Monrovia. Away from me.
Up.
Is that still working?
Yeah, it's still working.
It's still working.
Yeah.
How much is this?
30, 35, 40 bucks.
This is the first guy we tried.
Yeah.
Just one phone call and a quick drive.
Yeah. You want to buy it?
He knows we're not going to buy it.
Huh?
He knows we're not going to buy it.
Yeah, you going to buy it? Buy it. Put it in your suitcase, carry it back to England.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there for sale?
You can get maybe a 45 caliber pistol. They would be more expensive, anywhere from $100 up. They're more expensive.
Just because people can hide them a lot easier.
Yeah.
Whereas that's pretty tricky to conceal. You're pretty well connected. Is it this easy for anyone to get hold of a gun?
If you have the money, just go around and ask them. They know they're going to be disarmed anyway. And a lot of them, some of them have 2 or 3 guns, so they'll sell the surplus ones and keep the other one for disarmament, hoping maybe either get some money or some training when they get disarmed.
But there was also plenty to be optimistic about. Charles Taylor, nicknamed the Monkey, was gone. And a new transitional government was about to be sworn in.
A monkey is a wild animal that had to be trained. You see, we saw Taylor to be a destructional being that had destroyed the Liberian from the root cause. Because of that, we name him a monkey that will be pulled by the tail, not the hair, because he has a mental that cannot be comprehended by human beings. So we, the Liberian, the youth, we have put ourselves together to see that freedom reign forever, not a freedom that will just go 1 or 2 days. So that is our purpose that we are calling him monkey.
new administration was backed up by the largest UN peacekeeping force in the world. It was an incredible achievement. The war had lasted 14 years, and many had given up hope that it would ever end. Yet here were former enemies, agreeing to share power and eventually start disarming. These were men who had been at war just weeks before. Everyone was invited.
They make a long and dignified walk up the road to the front doors. You've got a brass band, full military salute, dancing, singing girls. And then no matter who you are, there's a massive ruck to the front door.
For Moses Blah, on his last day in office, it was no different.
Just got manhandled by the UN troops, shoved inside.
In the spirit of inclusiveness, everyone got to make a speech before a businessman, Jude Bryant, was finally sworn in as chairman of the new transitional government.
Chairman of the National Transitional Government of Liberia. To the best of my ability. So help me God. So help me God.
The war was officially over, and Liberians had a reason to feel hope for the first time in a long time. But Jude Bryant has got one hell of a job to do. He has to rebuild the country that has been almost completely destroyed and has seen mostly chaos for nearly 25 years. Bryant even has to rely on UN troops to act as policemen. Kofi Annan's man in Liberia, Jack Klein, knows how hard it will be.
The prison here we've examined in Monrovia, it has one prisoner. He's a murderer. We examined his record, talked to him, and based on his time served and good behavior, the offer was made to let him go. And he said, quote, "I'm not going out there, it's much too dangerous, I'm staying here in prison." And for about $290 million, you can actually rebuild Liberia. Now, we're not rebuilding London here or Paris, we're rebuilding the basic infrastructure of a failed state. That's 4 days of Iraq, by the way. If you think Iraq costs 85, 86 million a day.
No building was safe during the shelling of Monrovia. Even the Masonic Lodge, once feared by locals, is barely recognizable.
The kid thought that they did human sacrifices and cannibalism inside.
Yeah.
And juju.
This building was empty. People were scared to go into this space. I'm very surprised to see people going there now.
Once an exclusive club for Liberia's ruling elite, it's now home to some of the 1 million refugees who fled into the capital during the war.
How many people have you got in here, in the whole building?
The whole building, we have approximately about 19,000.
Huh? Sue, what you saying? You want a picture?
Yeah, she wants to take her picture.
Here's your picture. This bridge here is called New Bridge, and that's basically the last bridge before Central Monrovia. And that was Lourdes's goal. As you can see, there are two huge towers there where the government had sniper positions and they had a direct line of fire onto the Lourdes forces, which is probably why this building is barely standing.
Government troops only just managed to keep the rebels out of the capital.
Okay, hundreds of bullet shells. Big ones too.
Even this had become home for some people. Actually, completely forgetting about the amount of blood that Charles Taylor's got in his hands, all you need to know is that he was in power for 6 years. He had an income of, some people think, over $100 million a year. And during that entire 6 years, he couldn't once restore electricity or water to the city. When did you come here?
It's my 2 year in here now. Yes, no work, no job, no nothing to do.
Where did you come from?
I lived in the bush since '98. I was a farmer before. What we do, I already stranded. Nothing to do, no work.
I said to Zubin just now, I said, I haven't seen ugly kids yet, they're all cute. And he said, yeah, they are all cute, apart from the ones with guns.
Yeah. The ugly ones are the ones with the guns.
The National Museum of Liberia welcomes you. Cultural awareness is indeed a necessary ingredient during the ushering in of a new and vibrant Liberia under the NTG, National Transitional Government.
This is a fragment of the original Declaration of Independence. Here's the other part here, but it was in here, but during the fighting and the looting, it got torn apart.
So this is the original document?
Yeah. So they're waiting to get some funds to be able to put it back together properly.
This shows the close relationship between Liberia and the United States.
That's Abraham Lincoln and JFK.
JFK. JFK there is talking about justice and equal rights for all mankind.
Actually, Liberia was founded for unwelcome freed slaves. The land was bought in 1821 by Americans who did a deal with local kings at gunpoint.
Those people that signed the contract are the kings then, King Governor and King Jimmy. So these people were responsible for selling the piece of land now called Liberia. It was for little or nothing that these people bought this piece of land for.
An agreement was reached and the land was purchased on December 15, 1821 for a little over $300.
Yes.
Less than 1% of the population, the liberated slaves, recreated the system they had just been freed from. Only now, they were the masters. Oh, you got a Charles Taylor picture?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Can I see that?
Yeah, of course. That is a Charles drawing. Depicting Taylor and his dreams.
Charles Taylor, son of Bomi, and a man of dignity and destiny. What do you think his destiny is? Special court in Sierra Leone? America maintains close relations with Liberia. They have had CIA listening posts here, ships refueled here during the Second World War. And when the rebels attacked Monrovia, they opened their gates to fleeing civilians.
We had one mortar detonated up in this tree here.
Their compound was then shelled.
The shrapnel came raining down on men, women, and children all throughout this area. The first day, I counted the dead. We had 29 dead the first mortar attack. And I lost count after 53 wounded. As an outsider looking in, there are some people with a very, very sordid past being put into positions. Maybe they've changed, but I think the old expression here is a leopard never changes its spots. So we'll see. Those killed during the embassy shelling were buried just outside Monrovia.
Altogether, they have about between 400 to 500 people buried here. See where these mounds, where it's raised up right here?
Yeah.
This whole area over here that we're standing on right now, and if I remember correctly, yeah, the truck was parked like here. The last one was dug here.
And what are these surgical things that are lying around everywhere?
That day, every time they came to bury people because of the stench, because the bodies had already started decomposing most of the time.
So these are face masks?
Yeah, they're face masks. There should be about 6 graves here. Like this one had about 63. One had about 40-something, according to the hospital authorities. Another one had 50-something. Men, women, children, civilians, as well as fighters and whatnot.
How come it's not fenced off or marked anyway?
I don't think anybody really wants to remember here.
our stuff back here, wait for me at that point, yeah?
Yeah, he and I discussed it last night. So what we're gonna do, what I'm doing right now, what I'm gonna be doing is
Just 2 days into the new government, and for some, the reconciliation process had already gone too far. A man called George Dwyer was about to be selected as Speaker of the new government. The trouble is, he's been accused of multiple murder.
There were witnesses that say they saw him kill a pregnant woman, cut her open and kill her 9-month-old fetus.
Yeah. There was one witness who was in the house who survived, killed her and killed her husband, some other people, and cut her open and slit her throat, killed the fetus.
And he did that personally?
Yeah.
He'd been elusive and had barely bothered to defend himself. We tracked him down to the Holiday Inn hotel, where he was staying under heavy security.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Nice meeting you. Pleased to meet you. How you doing? With pleasure.
There was quite a lot of controversy about you being appointed as Speaker and some serious accusations made in the newspaper. How do you respond to those?
We have due process of law in our country, in Liberia. If Mr. X said you did something, you were accused or allegedly involved in XYZ, what you have to do is to go to court to prove beyond all reasonable doubt your involvement. Until then, you are not indicted or involved. So it is not proof. I'm not proving guilty, and I know my conscience is very clear. Those things are mere fallacy, false, and misleading. And I still challenge anybody who have any proof to go to court. Now, those things have no iota of truth.
But it doesn't look good, does it? You're third in line to be chairman, and you've got these accusations hanging over your head. Will you be trying to clear your name over the next few months or 2 years?
Well, those things, I don't have any allegations as far as I'm concerned. But the only thing I have to do to prove to the Liberian people my capability of serving them on a transparent basis. What they need to concentrate on now is reconciliation. Should be our own objective in order to come together. Because the international community will leave. We're going to live together. That's what I want to leave with you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
If you want peace, actually and factually, you do not go and nominate or elect an accused killer to be the third man in your government. You know?
But he's not just an accused killer, he's an accused killer 10 times over and killing unborn babies even.
Yeah, but just once is bad enough. You know? I don't see this happening anywhere else, especially a place coming out of war. They're talking about reconciliation. If you're talking about reconciliation, I think we should name people who are pure as driven snow. You know? I don't think we should name that kind of individual, no matter what. Hell, it makes me ashamed to be Liberian even right now. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed to be a Liberian right now, I'm telling you. If I could change my passport like this, I'd do it like this.
We were travelling with the UN on their first journey to the north since the war. The villagers were happy to see us. Most of the countryside is still controlled by rebels or Taylor's old soldiers.
I think the civilians definitely want peace.
We were travelling with UN Commander General Apande from Kenya, whose job it was to separate the warring factions.
This is your dinner? Yes. But they are frogs. Yeah. How can you live on this? Do you like this fighting, living on something, meager things like this?
No.
Look, you're suffering. Look at what you're eating. Yeah? Instead of being at home or going to school, right? So put this gun down. And then, yeah, okay?
Yeah, don't put it down.
Okay? Okay, bye-bye. Okay.
General Apande had arranged a meeting between rebels and government troops, who he hoped would agree to establish a ceasefire zone.
Now listen, we have agreed between the United Nations, all right, with the LAD and the government, forces, that you must separate each other, have a buffer zone, okay? You understand?
Exactly.
There must be what we call a buffer, clear demarcation. You understand? Hey. You understand? And if I hear that there is any fighting between you, shooting, then I will come back here and I will get a whole lot of you out of this place. I'll take your weapons away, okay?
His biggest threat was, if I hear you're fighting again, I'll take your guns. And while he was saying that, there was what seemed to be the ringleader of the Lurd troops was skinning up a spliff. And the other kid, there was at least one other kid could barely even stand up because he'd smoked so much. Another kid had a bag of weed the size of a tennis ball. So I don't know how much you can rely on what stoned teenagers are saying.
This young man should not be a fighter. He should not be a fighter. He should not be a fighter. He should not be a fighter. All these are young people. You should be in school, right? Instead of carrying guns and killing people, you should be learning so that you can be a doctor. You can be, a pilot. You can be a general like me. You understand?
Yes.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Okay. Let's go. Hey, come on. Get a move on.
How difficult is it to negotiate with teenagers?
Felix! Mama! Felix!
Kids, sometimes you're threatened a bit. Like this one.
Felix!
Carrying a weapon. He should not be carrying a weapon. Let's go.
Hey, Felix! Felix!
Let's go.
The Lurd soldiers are a lot less happy to see us than the government soldiers. The government soldiers are basically completely isolated. They're left on their own here. They've got no way of getting back home to Monrovia. The food is running out. So now they're saying, we want peace, we want peace. A few months ago, they were calling themselves, General Rambo and General Die and General Dare to Execute. Now they're singing, no more war, we want peace. The Lurd soldiers here are probably less keen on peace because they can get whatever they want here. If they want a car, get it. If they want a woman, grab her. I think they're going to be the ones that's going to be tricky to disarm.
As we drove back into the UN-controlled areas, the streets were suddenly alive again. The kids had footballs instead of guns, women were safe on the streets, and market sellers were free to trade.
Well, that 3 or 4 hour drive is all the proof you need that the UN can work and that all three warring factions, the government forces, Lurd and Modal, aren't fighting for the liberation of their people, they're fighting for their own benefit.
We want peace in Liberia, peace in Monrovia, and Babylon shall not rise again. Babylon shall not rise again. Oh, Babylon.